All right, it's that time of the week again. Actually, a one day late due to reasons that we're going to disclose a little bit later. But the project 10 out of 50 is live, and it's a headless Git CMS. So basically, um, I will, as usually, explain why did I decided to build this project this week, how does it work, do a quick demo of that, explore the tech stack, things that I did for the first time ever, and that I plan to improve potentially, challenges that I faced, and then give myself a final score. I will say before I even start, this is the first out of all 10 projects that made to life that is not completely working as expected, which had to happen at some point. So I'm happy with the fact that 90% of the time I was able to get it to market, but this time I will say that this project isn't stable enough to be considered as a working product at the moment. So let's go let's backtrack a little bit, right? The reason why I built this app is because none of my projects had a dedicated blog route, and they're all built in Lovable, deployed via Vercel, code is hosted on GitHub. So I wondered, like, can I just build a CMS that somehow uses this input, like the fact that I can host it on GitHub as well, and push to production on a Vercel website? It turns out that this is doable, but I will say it's not doable in just a few days, right? So the app itself, as you will see, technically works, but it doesn't. And a user would register, go through an onboarding, set up their project, add information and their token for GitHub, and all other details to get the connection running. Once the connection is made, the user still needs to manually, unfortunately, create a GitHub repo where this post would go to, and then go to the editor in the app and start bringing the blog posts to life and pushing them out to the blog. Everything works except for this last part, and that is something that I'm yet to fully figure out. But I'm still going to walk you through how the app looks like, just so that we can talk about the design. We can talk about a couple of other things, right? As you can see, this is the landing page with features, highlights, placeholder testimonials, placeholder pricing, and some FAQs. Pretty standard landing page, right, for most of the projects that I would build. Once you're logged in, you're immediately taken to the main dashboard, which has your content stats, everything on kind of get started with even the documentation that I built, which is something that I usually wouldn't do. Now this project has really proper onboarding. It allows you to connect your repo and verifies it. So this definitely works, right? And that is something that can be completely adjusted in your settings. Like you can define the site URL. You can also define the appearance, right? Switching from dark to light mode. It's very easy. GitHub connection has all the set of guides you need, info and token generation, tutorials. Like I've really done a lot of work here to make sure that people would know how to use it. It also defines the file formatting and the publishing directory, and prompts you to configure your blog layout. This is something that I've also built as a function where before you can even start working on the publishing, you would need to customize which theme or style or color and font you want your blog to have, right? And you can switch between different styles and basically save the one that you like the most, right? Again, pretty customizable. I really love all of the features that I've built, right? I'm super proud of the fact, again, that I put a lot of emphasis and focus on education of users on how the app works, because it's pretty complex. I was hoping to make it more simpler, but unfortunately the time just ran out on me this week. So I would say that the setup is pretty intermediate, and there's something not that general public wouldn't benefit from. Only maybe AI developers that have a similar way of thinking that I do, which is I don't want to host my blog in Supabase. When I'm building with Lovable, I want it hosted via GitHub, right? And then I just want to pull it up to the front end in a templated environment, right? The editor itself has AI assistance as well, in the sense that you can have it, generate title for you, improve your text, expand content, and all that jazz, right? So if I was saying like this test, for example, doesn't matter. I can go to AI Assist and expand the content, and hopefully it will start, just jamming on this idea. And I can apply the suggestion. And then we have a content validation system, which also like looks at your headings, your structure, readability. So again, this is a pretty comprehensive build tool. The only missing piece of it is the fact that pushing the blog, maybe it's a permissions thing, maybe it's something that I'm yet to figure out. Basically, I tried to build an API technically, I feel, and it didn't work to its full extent. The system has a confirmation, which, I can just go into preview mode. I can look at how this is going to look like on different devices, and I can add images, links, whatever, right? The text editor works. Then when you hit publish, you just kind of get a preview link. You, have your blog component that would need to be deployed. You have the content sync, and then you just click to publish to site, and then your post is supposedly live. But the problem is there's a missing piece I feel is very close, but I just couldn't get it to work, and just time ran out on me. That's the challenge, right? You gotta finish it in 7 days, and I wasn't able to do that. There are obviously things that I was able to do, and we're going to talk about them. I was able to leverage the following tech stack to get to the point where I'm at right now. So Lovable and Supabase, Resend for SMTP, OpenAI API for this content enhancement, and the GitHub API for two-way routing. The app is not optimized for mobile at all. Like, I didn't even start working on the design optimizations. It is a 100% desktop app. My tip for you guys building this week is be very careful when you're defining your projects. AI really, with 3.7 model, especially in Lovable, over engineers and overcomplicates things to an extent that I haven't experienced in the past. You're the one in control, so better assume that control from the very first prompt. I think I made a mistake myself, even talking about planning and chatting, and still letting AI be too creative and too confident, right? Which I think is what backfired in this case, right? I will say I'm happy with the fact that I built my PRD for the first time using deep research. I think it's a pretty good approach. I also posted my entire 7-day journey of building this app on LinkedIn, which is a pretty fun thing to do. I'll repost the video series on YouTube as well. I focused a lot more on user education than I would usually, and finally was able to build the what you see is what you get the text editor. Even though to some people that may seem like a ridiculously simple concept, I've built a couple of apps for content creation, and I was never able to get the what you see is what you get editor. This is the first time I was. I'm impressed with the fact that I was able to build all the connections, but the fact that the push, the final thing doesn't work is kind of a bum. And I also, triggered pretty custom and complex edge functions to check everything that's happening. And again, that's something that I'm proud of, knowing I didn't know what any of this means less than 3 months ago. Things that I plan on working to improve if I continue to improve. I need to figure out how to get that last piece of the puzzle and then dramatically reduce the scope of it. Like, start deleting and removing things as much as possible, right? To make it more user-friendly, because I feel that in the end, you're building things to be used by others and not just by you. And this app, the way it's concepted, I don't think anybody would use it except me. It's just the fact that it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, right? The biggest challenge did not come from this project this week, quite honestly. It came from the fact that I got the DDoS attacked on another project, and that took me a few hours for a couple of days, actually. And I can show you how an attack like that looks like. So if we go to project overview, so local rank was the project that had that going on for it. And you will see here, 600,000 authentication requests and database requests for, 400,000. Just crazy couple of days. Me trying to figure out how to prevent it, how to stop it. I'm hitting limits on Vercel. I'm hitting usage limits on Supabase. I'm losing money basically when that happens, because I'm paying for stuff and it's not real users. So yeah. And again, the final challenge, obviously, this particular project was the fact that the last piece of the puzzle never worked. So I'm generous with myself, I guess, this week. I'm giving myself a 3 out of 10 because the app looks okay, but it doesn't work okay. Should be a 1 or a 0, basically. No rate doesn't work. No, there's no score, but there are some functionalities that do work. So it's a 3 out of 10, and I'll give myself 6 out of 10 for the landing page. Initial version is there, and because this project's not done, I'm not going to share the final link. I just shared, as usual, which is the main point of these videos, the lessons learned and showed you a broken demo of a broken app. I do hope you continue to follow and share my journey. You can again find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm preparing to just finish up the series. I'm going to be publishing a 7-day series now on 0 to 1 using Lovable on YouTube as well. And I'll see you next week. Until then, keep shipping, guys.